The SGU is delighted to announce that the Paul Lawrie Foundation will be sponsoring the Scottish Boys Championship for 2012. It's the first time ever that a professional golfer has sponsored an SGU event, something that wasn't lost on the press and the television broadcasters who were all present at the announcement. Paul's involvement with grassroots golf is well known, but what prompted him to get involved with this particular tournament?
I went to Dunbar. My oldest boy Craig got in last year. It was his first time he'd played in Dunbar, and I was just blown away with how professional and how big the tournament is. Really, I had never played in it. I was never good enough when I was young, so I'd never really been to the Scottish Boys. And you know, there was the big wagon there, and there was a press, centre, and all the press guys were out watching Craig a little bit, and I just thought, man, this is a massive tournament. So when Ross kind of asked us if it's something we'd be interested in, and we just jumped at it. The SGU do such a good job, for these kids coming through, and everything gets done for them. But for me, the biggest thing it's lacking with these kids is just a mentor, someone just to speak to that's been there.
A young golfer who's benefited from Paul's mentorship is David Law, who was also on hand to help launch the sponsorship.
Came down today, obviously, with the announcement that the foundation are going to be sponsoring the Scottish Boys, and having won that tournament before and being part of Paul's foundation, it made sense to come down.
David's been in the foundation for a few years now, and he has a very good coach in Neil Marr who works up our way and done a great job with David, and his parents have done a good job, and he's a nice young man as well as a good player, so I'm a very small part of it, but we're still hugely proud of what he's done.
Law has won the men's national title twice in the last 3 years, as well as picking up titles in South Africa and the Northern Open, one of Scotland's bigger professional tournaments. But what does he remember of his first major win at the Boys up in Aberdeen?
I can remember a lot. It's nice being at home for a tournament, playing at Royal Aberdeen in front of my family and my friends, being the #1 seed, and knowing it was my last year at playing it. You want to win that tournament. The Scottish Boys is definitely the biggest tournament as a boy I can remember.
And what about the venue? What can the 256 boys expect when they roll up at Murcar for this year's event?
Murcar is going to be a challenge for the boys. It's a nice course, very good course, always in good condition. It'll be quite windy, it'll be quite cold, I'm sure, that time of the year. So they need to sort of keep the ball down and try and keep the ball in play. It's a links course, so even then, with it being a little softer and wetter, it'll still be bouncy. But they're in for a treat. It's one of our best courses we have in our area.
Of course, running alongside his involvement with grassroots golf and sponsorship deals, Paul himself has had a real resurgence in form recently. Finishing 18th in the race to Dubai, is it too much to ask to perhaps work towards a Ryder Cup place once again?
Well, we know there's a long way to go, and obviously there was a big check in Dubai which brought me up to 6th in the table, but I know as well as anyone that we're not getting carried away. There's a long way to go. I would like to qualify for the team, but there's a lot of good players not in that top 5 at the moment that'll probably be there or thereabouts towards the end of the season. But if I can keep going like I did in Dubai, then there's no reason why I can't make it. But I know as well as anyone there's a lot of work to be done.
Reaching the very highest levels in the game, of course, isn't easy. But as Paul mentioned earlier, his boys Craig and Michael are now looking to do just that. So what's easier, playing or watching?
Well, John Huggin was up the last 2 days doing my autobiography with me, and he gave me the quote of the year was that when he asked me how I was feeling when Craig teed off at Dunbar, and I said, "Nay, great," and I was not feeling good at all. So playing golf is much easier than watching.